We are very grateful for your company tonight on Rwanda Television News. Thank you for choosing to stay tuned on RTV. This is what is coming up on Edition tonight. President Paul Kagame finds that right education is plays an important role for an impactful youth of the country's future. On Thursday, Prime Minister Dr. Edouard Ngirente officiated the groundbreaking ceremony for the renovation and expansion project of Masaka Hospital in Kicukiro district. A very good evening to you and welcome to Rwanda Television News. My name is Sam Kadisa. And as we kick it off tonight, President Paul Kagame on Thursday reiterated that right education plays a key role in an impactful youth for the country's future. The head of state made the remark on Thursday as he officiated the swearing-in ceremony of the newly appointed Minister of Health, Dr. Utumatwishima Janepo Abdallah. Olive Nete starts us off tonight with this report.
40-year-old Dr. Utumatwishima Janepo Abdallah joined the cabinet as the Minister of Youth after taking an oath in the presence of the head of state. In addition to wishing him well, President Paul Kagame urged him to ensure that the ministry overseas helps the country's youth integrate with contemporary development while still being rooted in values of the Rwandan culture.
Ifite abana ngira ngo bakure neza bazagira akamaro mu bihe biri imbere biterwa n'uburere wabahaye uburere butandukanye.
When you have children and you want them to grow well and be productive in the future, all of that depends on the kind of education you provide to them. Moral and ethical education, and through capacity comes scholar education and also a good life, building them to have capacity which is based on the values needed in whichever society. I think this is very clear, and the new minister maybe is still in the youth category or a little bit above, but I believe that you will work according to the current trends, but also by not forgetting what we learned from education.
Ariko muti bagiwe iby'uburere butwigisha.
The head of state also pointed out that one level can't enable itself to fulfill the responsibilities properly, stressing the importance of everyone's cooperation in the development of the country.
Ariko icyangombwa ari kuzuza inshingano za buri umwe ariko cyane cyane gufatanya.
What is necessary is to fulfill responsibilities that you are assigned to, most especially by cooperating, complementing each other, working together, because there is no institution that works on its own. Because in the responsibilities, it is essential that all institutions work together, because they are government institutions, and through that, we shall be able to develop and lead to the country's development. I'm just reminding you this, because when you become a minister, even if you were not in the government institution, you understand that it is essential to be accountable of the responsibilities you are assigned to, and also understanding the function in the new responsibilities shouldn't be hard for you, because it is usually a culture everywhere, most especially when it is about working for the public interest of the country.
cyane cyane iyo bigeze ku gukorera inyungu rusange z'igihugu.
The Minister of Youth, Dr. Utumatwishima Janepo Abdallah, is content of the responsibilities he has been entrusted with by the President of the Republic.
Icyambere no kubanza gushimira nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika wangiriye icyizere kugira ngo
I first thank the President of the Republic for trusting me so that I can also be able to contribute in leading the youth so that the Rwandan youth can develop. I received it wholeheartedly and I'm happy about it. Second, I understand how crucial these responsibilities are, and as the President of the Republic reiterated on it, educating the youth and playing part in their development and building them, it requires cooperation with others. And this is a crucial point, but I'm happy and ready to fulfill these responsibilities.
Among the priorities of the new Minister of Youth, Dr. Utumatwishima Janepo Abdallah, includes fighting youth unemployment, which is at the top of his agenda.
Urubyiruko rero numva turi kumwe nanjye mu by'ukuri numva ndi urubyiruko nubwo nsohotse mu
I just want to tell the youth that we are together, and I feel that I'm part of them, even if the age, I'm a bit above the required. But as we usually say, age is just a number. But I think I will get enough time to engage with the youth more than expected. Secondly, in these times, where the world has been hit by various crises, and also most of young people are unemployed, you have to know how to behave in the waiting process. Most of the times, some young people choose to consume drugs so that they can forget about it and their hardships just because they are broke. But when you consume them, it doesn't provide you a job. When you consume alcohol, it doesn't provide you a job. What I request of them while waiting for the employment opportunities and job creation opportunities through them, they should be characterized by good values and good education. Who is waiting for better things ahead?
Dr. Utumatwishima is married with 3 children. He is a licensed physician who previously served as the Director General of Rwamagana, Kinihira, and Ruhengeri before being appointed as the Minister of Youth. On the 24th March this year, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Kagame, appointed him as the Minister of Youth, replacing Rosemary Mbabazi, who has been on that position for 6 years and who was currently appointed as the Ambassador of Rwanda in Ghana. Olive Nete, RTV News.
Thank you, Olive. On Thursday, the Prime Minister, Dr. Edouard Ngirente, officiated the groundbreaking ceremony for the new renovation and expansion project of Masaka Hospital in Kicukiro District. During the groundbreaking ceremony, the Prime Minister reiterated that Rwanda is establishing itself as a regional health hub and also increasing the number of professionals in this particular sector.
Residents who usually seek medical care at Masaka Hospital say that when it is expanded, it will speed up service provision in this health sector and also reduce time they spend waiting for these services to be provided. Most of the time when residents come to seek medical care, they may go home late at night, yet they came in the morning at 6 a.m. But we believe that when it is expanded, they will increase the number of physicians so that services can be provided appropriately. Masaka Hospital is a district hospital. On Thursday, the Prime Minister Dr. Edouard Ngirente laid the foundation on where this hospital will be expanded in order to improve its current level. When the construction work is completed, it will be merged with the University Teaching Hospital and it will be a reference hospital. Dr. Saben Sanzimana, the Minister of Health, emphasizes that this is done to make it easier for people to access medical care. The expansion and renovation of Masaka Hospital is one of the projects that the Chinese government supports in Rwanda. The Chinese ambassador to Rwanda noted that China is content for its role in contributing to the improvement of the lives of Rwandans.
We built Masaka Hospital in 2011, which helped the local patients. So we are happy we're here to expand it. And we have sent 22 medical teams and more than 270 Chinese doctors to Rwanda. They contribute a lot to the local residents and to the health of the Rwanda people.
The Prime Minister, Dr. Edouard Ngirente, also commended China for supporting Rwanda in achieving its goal of becoming a health hub with a science-based medicine.
Both our countries have a strong foundation, and this project is yet another testament to our excellent relations. This hospital's renovation and expansion will further improve capacity to provide advanced healthcare services. Infrastructure like this one are a great contribution to our vision to develop specialists, subspecialties, and train much-needed health professionals in a short time. This project also complements other strategic health services in the catchment area, including IRCAD Africa, the Heart Center, and the other projects that will transform the city into major health hub, and this is our target.
The anticipated completion date for this facility in Masaka is in the year 2025. This hospital will be able to accommodate 837 hospitalized patients, as well as many more from the outpatient department. Olive Nete, RTV News.
On Thursday, Rwanda's Ministry of Infrastructure signed a cooperation agreement with the agency responsible for controlling air safety in Africa and Madagascar, ASENA. The cooperation agreement aims to improve technology in the field of air transport. Jessica Gasaro with more.
Aya masezerano yasinywe hagati y'impande zombi yitezweho kuzamura imishinga inyuranye irimo guteza imbere ibikorwa remezo by'ibibuga by'indege. Azanafasha kandi mu koroshya ingendo hagati y'ibihugu bya Afurika ku buryo bidasaba kubanza.
We'll come back to this story after, and moving ahead, the conference which brought together experts in education from all around the world was concluded on Thursday. The participants looked together on how to put efforts into the use of technology and student-centered education in order to promote sustainability in education. We'll move ahead to other matters and we'll come back to this later. I&M Bank Rwanda has announced the net revenue before impairment charges in 2022 worth 42.4 billion Rwandan francs, an increase rated at 27% year on year. The I&M Bank revealed this increase was highly driven by a gradual increase in digital services. As we have more with Prince Manzi.
I&M Bank Rwanda announced that in the previous year, 2022, had a profit after tax worth 9.3 billion Rwanda francs, representing a 22% increase compared to 2021. The bank administration states that the increase in profitability was highly driven by the gradual increase of the usage of digital services and exposing the services to the retail banking, as explained by the Chief Executive Officer of I&M Bank Rwanda, Robin Bairstow.
The bank has, by and large, for many years been primarily a corporate bank. We increased our exposure to retail banking, especially on retail banking loans and current and savings account. And then we looked at new products, like launching products like bank assurance, which has been extremely successful and helped significantly to the bottom line. Rolling out, when we talk about diversification, we have areas where I mentioned where we've been really successful on transaction banking, both on the trade and on the cash management side.
I&M Bank Rwanda operating expenses for the year were 25.6 billion Rwanda francs compared to 20.7 billion Rwanda francs for the same period in 2021 due to an increase in various fields, including investment in information and technology. The growth in digital adoption was 78% and helped in improving efficiency and customer satisfaction. This is where the CEO of the I&M Bank Rwanda explains that customer satisfaction and providing services in line with the customer's needs contributed highly to the increase of their profit as a financial entity.
The other one is optimization of our operating model. And when we talk about optimizing of the operating model, we focus both externally, which is what is the customer experience with the bank like? Because, and I'll give you an example of a failed product. We talk about all the successes. Let me give you an example of a failed product. We launched WhatsApp banking. We thought we launched WhatsApp banking. At the time, it's a great product. We thought it was innovative. However, factors have overtaken themselves. And then we, at the same time, launched our banking application, our mobile banking application, together with Spend. Because the features on WhatsApp banking were not what customers expected, their experience wasn't great. So the take-up was relatively low. I think we had less than 1,000 users. So we have to go to the drawing board and redesign that product, not because it makes any sense to us, but because our customers just rejected it. And those are things that we focus on. So sometimes you can have you can think products are really cutting edge and different, but if your customers don't enjoy the experience, they won't use them.
The I&M Bank Rwanda financial report also demonstrates that the net customer loans in 2022 increased by 4% to 431 billion Rwanda francs. It also had the total financial investments of 136.9 billion Rwanda francs compared to 91.5 billion Rwanda francs in 2021. Deposits held for customers and financial institutions were 357.4 billion Rwanda francs, while the borrowings for the period stood at 47.5 billion Rwanda francs. In I&M Bank Rwanda, the NPL ratio is 4.2%. Prince Manzi, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Prince, for the report. Back to education matters. The conference, which brought together experts in education from all around the world, was concluded on Thursday. The participants looked together at how to put efforts into the use of technology and student-centered education in order to promote sustainability in the education sector.
It is a conference that brought together educators, researchers, experts and practitioners from various institutions that promote education around the world. They reiterated on ways to strengthening the use of technology in all education programs and prioritizing quality education in order to deal with the problems that threaten the development of the sustainability of education. A professor at the university, Christina Jerome Shuma from Tanzania, said that they benefited from this conference and they are ready to improve the quality of education in their countries.
And of course, I have learned a lot. This is the third day since we started this conference, and I have seen that Rwanda is doing a great job, at least to promote STEM education in all levels of your education. I have heard that one personnel was presenting initiatives that have been taken, at least to ensure that students are well engaged in science subjects, so that in the end we have these professionals, we have scientists, good scientists from all levels.
The Vice-Chancellor of the University of Rwanda, Dr. Didas Kayihura, noted that this conference will assist them to reshape the education system and research and put into practice what they shared.
Lots of things have been discussed here, the way we need to reshape our education, the way we need to be inclusive in our education, the way we need to consider even the disabled ones, the people with different learning capacities, and all has been discussed. I think as a university we are so proud, and we have learned a lot, but also the participants also must have learned a lot.
More than 200 people from 15 countries around the world attended the first conference on reshaping education for sustainable development. Participants also visited the Kigali Genocide Memorial, where they led breaths and paid tribute to the victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi.
Some lawyers find that there should be close collaboration between financial institutions and business practitioners to implement the insolvency laws. Adam Squizera.
The insolvency law is designed to be utilized when a debtor is unable to make its payments generally, and it's normally relied upon when only a small amount of debtors' outstanding obligations are unpaid. However, some business practitioners point out various challenges they normally face.
The biggest challenge is that most investors don't know the right time to apply for reorganization. In most cases, most investors realize they are right for reorganization when it's too late, when they are struggling financially, and they don't have any means to reorganize their businesses. I would say if they would understand that they can apply for reorganization at an earlier stage, when they still have the means to reorganize their businesses, it would help revive their businesses, and it would be a big contribution to our economy. Most companies wouldn't be struggling until the last stage of being liquidated. There would still be room for them to be reorganized and recover their businesses.
Improving the collaboration and the implementation of this solvency law was noted as a sustainable solution in development of the economic sector.
The purpose of this law is basically to help companies that are having financial problems or that are distressed to find a way of how they can be restructured or be liquidated. But essentially, before liquidation can be done, at least whenever an insolvency administrator or a practitioner is appointed by court, the shareholders shouldn't be looking at this administrator as a person who is coming to take away their business. This is a person who is coming to assist and look at mechanisms of how you can actually solicit for further funding so that you can have this business breathe some life.
Richard Kayibanda, the Registrar General at Rwanda Development Board, knows that this law will highly benefit the business practitioners.
This conference is an opportunity for us as Rwandans, but also Africans, to discuss and exchange best practices on how to better reorganize the financially distressed businesses or efficiently liquidate those that cannot be revamped. We have best practices from different countries that each country can learn from the peers.
Last year in 2022, more than 50 companies operating business in Rwanda requested to the Rwanda Development Board (RDB) to be removed from the register of companies operating in Rwanda. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
Welcome back after that short break as we go on with matters making headlines locally. On Thursday, the Ministry of Infrastructure signed a cooperation agreement with the agency responsible for controlling air safety in Africa and Madagascar. The cooperation agreement aims to improve technology in the field of air transport.
The agreement signed between the two parties is expected to promote various projects in line with the development of airport infrastructure as well as facilitating air travel between African countries. One of the issues affecting air transport on the continent is that in some cases, crossing to an African country requires landing to some other continent. This problem will be solved with the help of space technology through cooperation with African countries to create a common atmosphere, as stated by Jean Lamy, the president of the Board of Administrators at ASENA.
With the decision of Rwanda to join ASECNA, it is a great, an important step towards the integration of the continent with in the sector of air transport, with the services that ASECNA provides, especially through satellite cooperation, with the best technologies. The controller of air traffic management of ASECNA use the same best technologies of the best countries, of the most developed countries in the world. And it will be a very important step for Rwanda to, with this adhesion of Rwanda, for providing these services for meteorological, for air navigation, for training, for equipment investment. And so I would say that it's a win-win partnership.
The Director General at ASECNA, Musa Mohammed, declares that there is still a long way to go and the whole movement continues after Rwanda became a member of the organization.
We are now 18 member states for this very important organization for the security of air navigation, as you know. Our aim is to gather all African states to make it possible to have a single sky for Africa. You know that single sky is the key of security. And by coming with ASECNA, Rwanda has shown the best way for integration, for cooperation among African countries.
The Minister of Infrastructure, Dr. Ernest Nsabimana, reiterated the benefit of Rwanda joining the ASENA, in addition to how the world is relying more than ever before on satellite-based navigation system due to less being exposed to a security problem and inhospitable areas.
Rwanda believes that joining ASECNA member state contribute toward achieving the goal of liberalization, collaboration, and partnership to reach the single African air transport market objectives. This partnership will succeed innovation and structuring projects championed by ASECNA, such as satellite-based augmentation system services, automatic dependent satellite-based, and the single sky for
The agency responsible for controlling air safety in Africa and Madagascar is made of 18 member states, including 17 African countries and France. And it is expected that in January 2024, Rwanda will be approved as the 19th permanent member of the arsenal. Jessica Agasaro, RTV News.
On behalf of the entire news production as well as the technical team, thank you for keeping us company on this edition of Rwanda Television News. And up until next time, stay safe and have a great evening. Goodbye.